Hello everyone. Today we are in the third session of the first chapter, The Living World. Today we will deal with the binomial nomenclature. As I have told you in the first two sessions, the topics to be covered are diversity in the world, taxonomy, taxonomic categories, nomenclature, and taxonomical aids. Today we are in the fourth point, that is of nomenclature. Today let us discuss and learn what is nomenclature. All the organisms and species has local name, but when we move with the local name, people may not understand that particular organisms. That organism must have a specific name given for the organism. So here we have to identify it, classify it. So first, systematics is the branch of biology that deals with the cataloging plants, animals and other organisms into categories that can be named, compared and studied. So we can compare it, we can catalog the plants and animals based on the categories that are divided. The next is of identification. We have to identify that particular organism, is finding a correct name and place of an organism in system of classification. It is done with the help of keys. This is carried out by determining similarity with already known organisms. So regarding keys, you will come to know later what are keys, how to identify with the keys. So we'll deal it with the tomorrow's session. So nomenclature is the process of standardized naming of living organisms such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. As I have told you earlier, so we must know the name. Local name may be known to the people, but the scientific name may be unknown to them. For plants, scientific names are based on the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, that is ICBN, and animals' names on International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, ICZN. Scientific name ensures that each organism has only one name. So let us understand binomial nomenclature. What is nomenclature? It is a universally accepted principles to provide scientific name to known organisms. Each name has two components: generic name, that is of genus, and specific epithet, that is of species. This system of nomenclature was provided by Carolus Linnaeus. So this scientific name will be given as two components, that is of one is of generic name and another one is of specific epithet, that is of species. So here two examples are given and this nomenclature was provided by Carolus Linnaeus. Mango, Mangifera indica. Genus name is Mangifera, indica is a species name. Human beings, Homo sapiens. Homo is a genus name and sapiens is a species name. Universal rules of nomenclature. There are rules for the nomenclature. So based on how the nomenclature is being written. So let us see that. Biological names are generally in Latin and written in italics. So it should be italicized. The first word in a biological name represents the genus, while the second component denotes the specific epithet. First of all, we have to write it in Latin, and the second one, it should be italicized, and the second one, it should be of genus as well as specific name, species name. Both the words in biological name, when handwritten, are separately underlined or printed in italics. It should be underlined, or if it is printed, it should be written in the form of italics. The first word denoting the genus starts with a capital letter, while the specific epithet starts with a small letter. The first word, whenever we write, for example, you can see from the above word Mangifera indica, the first word is started with the capital letter. Genus name has started with a capital letter, that is Mangifera M, and the specific epithet starts with a small letter. If it is handwritten, we have to underline both the words, and if it is to be written in Latin, and it should be italicized. Classification. How do we classify it? What are the taxonomy? How, based on what category we do classify it? So it is a process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characteristics. Classification makes the study of organisms convenient. Why do we classify it? So to make our study in an easier way, for For our convenience, we do classify. Taxonomy, the process of classification on the basis of external and internal structure along with the internal structure of cell development process and ecological information is known as taxonomy. So the external as well as the internal structure, the development process based on the ecological information, all these we do select for the classification for the taxonomy. There are some organizations, ICBN and ICZN. They have decided the rules out of the basis of the rules, only the names are being given. So ICZN is of International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. ICBN is of International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. Rules for binomial nomenclature. Already I have discussed with you the rules of nomenclature. For your deeper understanding, I have categorized it and I have given it in the form of rules. Here you can see the rules. Names consist of the two words genus and species. This is the first rule. Any scientific name, it will be consist of two words, genus as well as species. Both words are italicized or underlined. If it is printed, it should be italicized, and if you are writing it with your hand, it should be underlined. The next rule is genus is always capitalized. Whenever you write the name, scientific name, it should be capitalized. Genus starts from capital letters. Species is always of lowercase. Species always you have to write with a small letter. Both names are in Latin or Latinized. So taken from the Latin language. This is actually a dead language. It's of no longer in use. Two different organisms cannot have the same name. So two different organisms will not be having the same name. And the next rule is that the species name has to be different within the same genus. So the species name has to be different within the same genus. There is one more rule, but many times we ignore the name. There should be more than 3 alphabets but less than 20. The word is not too short, not too long. So this is the last rule that I have not mentioned here, but there is actually one more rule. That is, the scientific name should have 3 alphabets but less than 20. The word is not too short and not too long. How do you write the scientific name for an organism? The genus name comes first and is always capitalized. The species name comes second and always starts with a lowercase letter. If typed, use italics. If handwritten, underline it. So here, the best example is given here. So you can understand it well. Felis domesticus. See, when it is written, handwritten, how they have written it. Felis domesticus. Canis familiaris. So canis familiaris. So it should be underlined when we are writing, or if we are typing it, it should be italicized. So hope it's more clear to you how to write a scientific name. To clarify it, once again I have brought one more slide for you so that you may understand it little more deeply, little more well. So let us see. Linnaeus system of scientific names. How to write the names, how to write the scientific names. As I have told you, it should be italicized, the genus name should be capitalized, the second word species name is not capitalized, it should be in lowercase. So here you can see the better example. Both the words are italicized. How it is being italicized when it is typed. Or both the words are underlined. Canis familiaris. See how it is being underlined. So here we should give the space between the words. Should not underline it together. Here we must give the space. As you can see the arrow here in between. So you have to give the space. Apart from binomial system, there is trinomial system. So the names, three names will be given. For example, gorilla, gorilla, gorilla. Genus name, species name, and the subspecies name. So it's not rule, it's a general thing. If same names are given, then we can term it as tautonyms. It's accepted in case of only in the case of animals, but not accepted in the case of plants. Only accepted in the case of animals. Tautonyms are not accepted in case of plants. So trinomial name only for very few species. Where we go to the world, scientific name will be the same. Wherever we go, the scientific name will be the same. If you write Homo sapiens, one more example I can give you. So Homo sapiens and Lin. So what is Lin here? This was a scientist name given. So if, for example, Homo sapiens, sapiens, Lin X. X suppose is another scientist. So one who has given the modification for the above name. So we can write in this way also. So hope that it is clear to you. So it is trinomial nomenclature, trinomial system, tautonyms. So the examples, how the genus name is being written, how the species name is being written, how the subspecies name, and how the scientist name is being written along with the organisms, Homo sapiens, sapiens, Lin. So Homo sapiens is a genus name, sapiens is a species name, and Lin is the scientist name. Homo sapiens, sapiens, Lin X. I have not mentioned the name of the scientist. This can be the scientist, one who has modified the name apart from this scientist. So hope the binomial nomenclature as well as the trinomial system is clear to you all. Here is the homework for you today. Name 3 botanists who contributed to the field of plant taxonomy. The 3 botanists are Carolus Linnaeus, G. Bentham, Joseph Dalton, Hooker. Expand ICZN, International Commission on Zoological Nomenclature. Identify the correctly written scientific name for mango species Mangifera indica. What is ICBN? The ICBN, International Core of Botanical Nomenclature. So you can go through it, understand well what is binomial nomenclature, how the system's names are being given, write and learn. Hope these days you are enjoying the online learning. Thank you.